What are you doing in my room?
Oh, hi. I'm Sydney Brown.
That's not what I asked. What are you doing in my room?
Okay, jeez. Hi, I'm Sydney Brown, and I'm a freshman.
That's not what I asked you.
Okay, can you let me finish? Alright. Hi, I'm Sydney Brown, and I'm a freshman at the University of Delaware. And I'm doing my makeup while talking about my obscure and phenomenal event in African American history, the first drag queen, William Dorsey Swann. Would you like to hear more?
I guess.
Yay! Let's start from the beginning.
In 1860, 1 year before the Civil War started, William Dorsey Swann, the first drag queen, was born in Hancock, Maryland. After the Civil War ended, his family was freed and his parents were able to buy a farm, which put them in a better financial position than other formerly enslaved people. Then Swann went on to get his first job as a hotel waiter and learned to read and write in his free time. Into his adulthood, he was known to be quite rebellious, as he was accused of stealing books and party gadgets from the Washington Library Company, and also from taking unknown things from Henry and Sarah Spencer's home. Henry Spencer was his former employer. He pled guilty to larceny for these crimes, even though he was falsely accused. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison. After the 6 months in prison, he decided to further his education in order to make more money for his family. The rest of his rebellion came from both queer activism and hosting secret drag balls, and these drag balls were extravagant. Guests would come dressed to the nines in over-the-top dresses and suits. The only rule was that it had to be extravagant. They were held at his house, the House of Swann, which was known as a sanctuary for other queer men who liked to dress in drag, or cross-dress as they called it at the time, because calling yourself a drag queen or dressing in drag was pretty unheard of at the time. William Dorsey Swann was the first person to ever dub himself the Queen of Drag in 1882. One particular ball in 1888 started everything for Swann's activism. It was his birthday party. Swann was wearing a white silk dress and gold embroidered slippers when the police raided his house. Police received a tip-off from a neighbor that a bunch of men were gathering and dressing up as women, and that was just so not okay at the time. The police seized over 25 men, and while only 12 were arrested, Swann was livid, and he initiated the first recorded form of LGBTQ+ resistance in the United States, stating to his arresting officer, "You is no gentleman." This is important because before this time, no form of LGBTQ+ resistance had been recorded or is known to have even happened in the United States. William Dorsey Swann was then taken to jail half naked because his gown was torn to shreds. He was arrested for being a suspicious character and keeping a disorderly house, which was a euphemism for running a brothel. Swann then demanded a presidential pardon from President Grover Cleveland after he was arrested for throwing a drag ball in 1888. While the demand was ultimately rejected, this is another first from Swann, as he is the first American to seek a presidential pardon after being arrested and convicted of holding a drag-related event. While not much else is known about William Dorsey Swann, he did have a brother named Daniel J. Swann, who continued his legacy after he retired from the drag scene. He provided costumes for the drag community for roughly 5 decades, and eventually died in 1954. Swann himself died in 1925 at roughly 65 years old. Even if there is not much known information about him, it is clear that William Dorsey Swann did a lot for the queer community in the late 1800s and early 1900s.
Oh, you're back.
I never left.
Anyway, did you enjoy learning about William Dorsey Swann?
Yeah, I guess. Can you, leave now?
I guess, but I hope everyone else enjoyed learning too.
What are you talking about?